All right, I'm here with Will Naylor. He is one of the 20 candidates for City Council at large.
Yes.
And I want to thank you for coming by.
Thank you for the opportunity.
As I said during my last interview here with Juan, I'm trying to find out as much as I can about all of you guys.
Yes.
It's a crowded field. So first of all, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm born and raised in Springfield. I'm a product of the Pioneer Valley. My father is a man that came from Mississippi during the Northern Migration.
Okay.
And my mama planted me here in Springfield, Massachusetts. And I've been serving the community for over 35 years. I'm an ordained minister at HRC Ministries. I'm a licensed alcohol drug counselor. I've been doing public health work for over 25 years. I assist individuals who are sick and suffering through addiction, and I help them to find a pathway of recovery.
Excellent.
Yes,
Excellent.
So much, I can say, but yes.
So, in 2023, why are you doing the City Council? Is this your first, let me ask you, is this your first run for office?
Yes.
Okay. So, what has motivated you at this time to want to run?
I feel as though this is an evolution of my life. This is part of my lifelong ministry of community service. And so I feel the opportunity to expand my capacity for community service by being on the City Council to bring a measure of wisdom, courage, and inspiration to our city.
Wow. So I've been asking people basically the same group of questions because I want viewers to be able to judge positions on certain key things.
Okay.
So we've had this absolutely tragic and horrendous murder.
Yes.
And right now, top of mind awareness in Springfield is about issues on crime.
Yes.
The City Council, of course, is not a policing unit for the city, but on the other hand, they can certainly influence strategy. They can influence implementation. Are there particular issues when it comes to crime that comes to your mind and how we can take back our city, so to speak?
Yes, absolutely. As my understanding of what a city councilor does is he goes over the budget with a fine-tooth comb. So I would do my due diligence and research to encourage our a city to invest in public safety measures by way of interventions that would reduce gun violence. Now, there are certain things that we can't help. My condolences go out to the family over there on Berkshire Avenue. But of course, those are the type of events that you can't predict. But there are certain elements of gun violence that can be reduced and addressed, such as gun safety. We can ensure that the permitting process and the licensure process that for individuals that get guns is fair and equitable and wisely scrutinized, doing background checks and so forth. When it comes to suicide prevention, because that adds to the homicide, the gun violence rate, because they roll all of that data into one. So there's a mental health aspects that should be considered. It has to be a multi-pronged approach when it comes to gun violence. As far as the streets are concerned, those are events that are proximity homicides. In other words, folks tend to shoot and kill folks who they're in close proximity with, and so that's sort of a family issue. Oftentimes that has a lot to do with beefs and long-standing issues between individuals and so forth, and so lots of that is in the making long before the violence erupts. So it has to be a multi-pronged approach, a multi-dimensional view and perspective should be taken to reduce gun violence, because we certainly can't eliminate it or predict when certain types of homicides occur.
A lot of time and money has been devoted to the redevelopment of downtown Springfield.
Yes.
And certainly we're seeing the fruits of a lot of those labors now. There's more restaurants downtown. We have the casino and it's doing well. Basketball Hall of Fame, the Quadrangle, etc. But there's many neighborhoods in Springfield who feel like they've been left behind in terms of economic development.
Yes.
And if you were elected to the council, would you, number one, do you agree that neighborhoods have been left behind? And number two, what would you like to see to help neighborhoods get some of that attention and money to do better economic development in their area of the city?
From my understanding of our community and our city, each of our neighborhoods and communities have specific zones. For instance, Forest Park may be strong with the parks, tourism, East Forest Park, or Hill McKnight area, the homes, the beautiful homes, and so each community has its specific resources and potentiality, and so that should be looked at and considered. I see a lot of the strength in our city, collectively and overall. Of course, casinos have a tendency of drawing a lot of the resources and monies away from certain areas of the city, and certain areas that the casinos are around turn into deserts. And so that's one reason why we're seeing such a problem over at School and High Street and such areas. We know that some of the problems over there are contained in a certain area. So the casinos could do a better job employing some of those individuals and young men, offering them the opportunity for certification as chefs and all the various areas of employment that they could offer. They could be a greater help. As far as Springfield, downtown Springfield, our city should be developed. I think it's being underutilized as a tourist a destination. We're a place that has one of the greatest number of colleges in our area. We're the birthplace of basketball. Now, one of my little pet peeves is we are the home of basketball, but in Mason Square, some of the optics are very terrible because there's a statue, or there was a statue there,
right,
of a man tossing a basketball to a young man. But because someone didn't do their due diligence, they didn't realize that the weight of the statues, didn't consider the logistics of those particular statues. And now, first, the man was missing, so the boy didn't have nobody to throw the basketball to. Next, the boy was missing. So we should improve some of the optics of each of our neighborhoods in a fair and equitable way. And because Mason Square is my community, and it's a poor frog that don't praise his own pond, I would try to get that statue fixed, Mr. Dodds, right away to improve the optics of our city.
You're absolutely right.
Yes.
It's
yes.
When I was in high school and college, I worked at the first Hall of Fame there on Alden Street in the Springfield College
I remember.
campus. And it's a point of historical pride that this game took place, and it was developed basically at the old YMCA at Mason Square.
Absolutely.
And you're absolutely right. The optics are terrible. That the statue to commemorate this is being vandalized in the way that it is.
Well, I believe they had to take the statues down because they were leaning.
Right.
And then maybe, I believe you are right, I think it could have been the little boy. Somebody knocked that over, you know.
So,
yes.
So basically, we need to take the stuff, if I'm reinterpreting what you're saying here, we need to take our assets and utilize our assets.
Well, as a city councilman, Mr. Dobbs, I would do my research. I would do my research when it comes to implementing infrastructure improvements and so forth. You know, I would try to make sure that maybe the weight of the particular structures fit the foundations, and you know, we can, for instance, they're getting ready to lay some utility pipes down in the north end. We want to make sure that those pipes fit the exact specimens, you know, so that specific, so that we don't have another explosion like we did in downtown Springfield when those old pipes.
That's right.
So, as a councilman, I would do my research and due diligence when it comes to the allocations or the okaying of fundings and so forth for various projects that improve our city.
Excellent. Will, thank you so much for coming by today.
Thank you.
And look forward to seeing you at the debate next week.
Okay, I'll be ready.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Dobbs.